Okay, so you'll see slope defined a couple different ways. Okay, or at least written a couple different ways. The first one being what this symbol, it's a triangle, but it's referred to as delta. So delta y over delta x, which just means change. So the change in your y values over the change of your x values. Also written as rise over run. It's a popular way to write it as well. Okay, it's important that you know you'll see a lot of this. Okay, so don't get too confused. It just means the change in your y values divided by the change of your x values. Okay, so let's say we have a graph that looks like this. Doesn't have to be too exact to mine. Okay, but if you're given the picture of a line on a graph, okay, the easiest way to find the slope is what they call making a slope triangle. So it just kind of makes a 90-degree triangle like this from one point to the next. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to put whatever the change in your y values is first. So we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that goes on top. Because the change in my y values is positive 6. And my x values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. Which was not on purpose, but it is what it is. So that means we have a slope of 1. Okay, so same thing on this one. You want to find 2 points. okay, that the line goes through. I kind of outline them so that they're easy to see. Okay, so this one goes up 2, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, this is my change in y values divided by my change in x values. Okay, it gives me 2 over 10, which can reduce down to just 1/5. All right, same thing here. Okay, we can make our little, what we call slope triangle, like this. Count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then over 1, 2, 3. So my change in y values is 7. Change in x values is 3. So I get a slope of 7/3. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit different. Okay, as I make my slope triangle. So my change in y values would be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, my change in x values, I go over 1, 2, 3. Okay, but notice my change in x values, I'm going to the left. So that would make that a -3. So then I get a 6 divided by -3, which would give me a slope of -2. Okay, so one thing, and it's important to notice, and you could have done it on any of the examples we've done so far, okay, is if you made your slope triangle on this side, okay, you should get the same answer. Okay, because what happens is as I go from this point to this point, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm decreasing by 6, so I get a -6 there, and then a 1, 2, 3, +3 there. So I still get my -6/3, which still gives me a slope of -2. Okay, and you could have done the same thing if you make it on this side. You go down and to the left, which would make them both negative. Okay, so they'd still have the same slope. Okay, but one important thing to note, okay, positive slopes look like this. Okay, where they're going down and to the left, up and to the right. Okay, negative slopes are going to do the opposite. Where it goes up and to the left and then down to the right. It's just helpful so that when you actually, the more you practice with it, when you start to see these graphs, you'll know right off the top of your head whether or not it's a positive or a negative slope. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to rely on yourself being able to do the slope triangle and understanding, okay, I better do my math right. So I make sure I get a positive or negative slope. Okay, just knowing what they look like makes it a lot easier. Okay, we'll do a couple more practice problems. Okay, try these two on your own. Okay, I wrote the points down there to kind of help you out. Okay, but find the slope of these two lines. All right, so on this first one, just make our little triangles. We go up 2. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our change in y values again goes on top. Our change in x values goes on the bottom. So we get 2 over 8, which would give us a slope of 1/4. Next one, make another triangle like so. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my change in y values is 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my change in x values. So I just get a slope of 8 over 5. All right, try these last two. Okay, so the first one here, count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so again, changing y values, changing x values. So that one we should get a slope of 5/8. Okay, on the last one here, hopefully you recognize that it looks a little bit different, okay, because it should have a negative slope. Okay, it's going up and to the left and then down and to the right. Okay, we make our triangle, doesn't matter which side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go up 4. Okay, and then I'm going to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And since I went to the left, it's got to be negative. Okay, it's got to be negative. So 4 over negative 6 just gives me negative 2/3 as my slope.